like to introduce you all who do not know Ken Polvino. To Ken and Terry, if she's arrived, we'll call her up as well. And Ken and Terry are both incredible visionaries, and I keep calling them visionaries, and Ken keeps correcting me. And he says, evangelists. Evangelists, Bridget, evangelists. And I think the distinguishing factor between a visionary and an evangelist, as I've been thinking about this, is that an evangelist evokes their mission within the person and wants to see the individual take ownership of the vision and the thing that they are committed to. And Ken has done a really incredible job of that in this community with the John Muir celebration and the development of the highway, and with Sierra Foothill Conservancy in bringing us into being a partner and sharing in the vision.
Also, thank you all for coming. As a crazy person, I really appreciate other people that get sucked into it. First of all, did anybody see, was that a coyote or was that a bobcat?
Had a long tail. I think it was a coyote.
Coyote?
Yeah, coyote.
Yeah, because Bridget mentioned there was an osprey here, there was in northern Goshawk just 2 days ago, there's some mountain lions hanging out here, pass through, and bear, so keep your eyes open. Oh, and please, if you see a wild animal over there of significance, not bunny rabbits, but go ahead, raise your hand, we'll interrupt and we'll watch it, because a lot of kind words about Terry and I, and much appreciated, but actually this is not about us. And it's kind of not about us since the first time we got here, since the first time we bought this land and walked on the land. We actually bought this land, it's 80 acres, before we ever stepped on it. We put the earnest money down and we went for a walk on this land, and I'll speak for my wife. Our first steps on this land, both of our jaws dropped. And we said, because from the road it looks like, oh, it's a cow pen. No, this is it's not just cows can be here, but it's more, so much more than that. It's part of God's gift to us, and it's part of what Muir would want us to appreciate and develop. So I have a prepared text that I'm going to read from, please. The mission here is to honor John Muir by helping to preserve, protect, and restore the natural communities and human communities along this historic route he took in 1868 on his walk to Yosemite Valley. First of all, Terry and I would like to thank the Sierra Foothill Conservancy, thank you Bridget, for accepting this beautiful parcel under their stewardship and as part of the John Muir Highway Geotourism project. We are also very appreciative of the work underway with the Sierra Business Council to explore expansion of geotourism here for our gateway communities. There are many others to thank, especially our neighbors and supporters, the people who lent the quotes, but we can only get to some of that today. I want to focus my thanks on John Muir. Surprise. We can thank him for his wisdom, his insights into nature's design, his fellowship with other men, and his remarkable fortitude in the wild. We admire his acumen as a botanist, geologist, inventor, businessman, ecological activist, and as a wonderfully talented writer. He was also known for his love of children and family. As his great-grandson, I'm sure Robert Hanna could tell you, passed down through the family. He felt comfortable corresponding with renowned scientists, cruising to Alaska with a railroad tycoon, or camping with President Roosevelt under the giant sequoias. And he also stated that tourists coming to see nature's glory was a good sign of the time. He understood and was joyfully awed by the balance and beauty of God's handiwork. He loved being immersed in uninhabited panoramas displaying beauty beyond the ability of man to create. But he was also drawn to a close and long-standing set of friendships and correspondence with a wide group of friends and family all around the country. And for those of you who have any doubts or are interested in this, the University of Pacific Library has his correspondence, his journals. Don't take my word for it. Go look how he wrote to his friends and how he wrote to his family. The Hanna family donated just an abundance, probably the largest collection of Muir papers in the world at the University of Pacific John Muir Center. He was an incredibly multi-dimensional man. He would be pleased to see this project being nurtured in his name to preserve the natural systems he defended. He would applaud the inventiveness of using geotourism to sustain the rural communities here in the footsteps of where he walked and where his journals praised the glorious details of this landscape with each step that he took. He understood stewardship of the land and a rural way of life from his early childhood. It is definitely fitting to honor him in this way. Perhaps more importantly, it can help bring a better understanding of the rural life to urban visitors. Most geotourists do not have an opportunity to directly care for these kind of natural wonders found throughout our country, and especially in the Sierra Nevada. Once visitors arrive here, drawn by the appeal of reliving Muir's journey to Yosemite, they will find a rich treasure of local history, spanning generations of devotion to this gateway to Yosemite. This is a place and a lifestyle that warrants attention, imparts to those who stop to learn, as Muir did in 1868, a bounty of cultural heritage. Geotourism and Muir point us to the residents here, themselves and their rural culture, to make known to the rest of the world the lessons of living in stewardship with the land. Please visit the History Center and discover the stories of our frontier heritage. This book, Cultural Chronicles, is filled with stories about the people that were here before Muir walked through, and many of those families, like the Scheimer family, still here. There's a rich history here. And I'm going to digress just a little bit. One of the things that I learned as an urban person who came here, never having owned a ranch before, was the importance of paying attention to the stewardship of the land, how hard it is. I can remember one day when the water was rising and the boats were about to get submerged. I went out there and it was in November and it was freezing cold. And I was up to my knees in water and it came in, I was cold, and boy, I tell you what, I wasn't praising God at that point. I should have been, but I wasn't. And then I read in here about a family, men that had repaired a water wheel because it was essential to their survival. And I just happened to notice that the date was November, and they were talking about hours waist deep in the stream trying to fix this thing. And I was sitting there thinking, you know what? We're wimps. We're wimps. So it's the heritage that needs to be reinforced. Okay. So visit the museum and stop along the route to observe and write about the passion for life held in the wildflower blossoms and the souls of these communities. In both cases, the natural and human history are being threatened. We need a vision that sees through John Muir's eyes, the glory of God's handiwork, and we will restore this area to vibrant health, both in terms of ecosystems and in terms of economic development and the quality of their lives. As our dear friend John Scheimer has rightly proclaimed, and I quote him, because I love this book, we have an important story to bring to the rest of the world. He's not talking about just California, he's talking about the rest of the world. And by welcoming to this place, this people, and this geotourism mission, Terry and I want to thank you all and pray for the continued blessings we enjoy here to be shared and enriched. Thank you very much.